You're going pretty quickly. Oh, it is on.
We aren't in it. Yes, we are. Okay.
Hey, Roland. Hi.
Hi, Roland. Hi, Bunny.
Hi.
Karen. Hi,
Yeah.
Bradley.
I thought the
Hello,
rag.
everybody.
Hi. I think the rag this time is just wonderful. It's
Woo.
really good paper. For being closed in, it sort of makes you forget that for a minute or two.
It is good to see everybody. We'll give it another minute or two before we get started.
Hi, Jan.
Ooh, let's see, we get a sneak peek at what Gunilla's reading these days. Flo, good to see you. Linda, Bunny, Pat, Bob, Phyllis.
It's good to see you too.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
We're glad
Where
to
have
know.
you been?
Yeah, we're all missing each other.
So somebody stood awfully close to a razor.
Eventually,
Oh, yeah.
this will break straight to Cisco.
We're seeing more of you now.
Yeah, you all get to see a side of me very few people have seen in many years.
Clean shaven.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. I think I'll go ahead and mute everybody, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this month's modified State of the Business meeting. It's good to see many of you, so many of you on today. It looks like we've got quite a few residents. We have a few advisory board members as well as team members, possibly some family members that are joining us as well. Want to welcome all of you and thank you for taking the time to be with us today for the next hour or so. Would also like to extend a special welcome to anybody that is joining us for the first time at our State of the Business meeting. We are very glad that you're here and that you're able to join us, albeit not in person, but we appreciate your presence. If anyone isn't aware, we typically meet on the first Thursday of every month at 3:30 p.m. best case scenario, or in most cases, we meet in the GRA, and we meet in person. The last couple of years, it's been different. We've spent several months meeting this way through Zoom, as well as outside in the Fountain Courtyard for a while. Who knows what next month and the subsequent months will bring, but either way, glad that we're able to still meet this way. So thank you for those that are joining us on the Zoom call. I've muted everybody, but if you have any questions or comments throughout the duration of the different reports that we give, please feel free to unmute yourselves. There will also likely be some time at the end for any other questions that we don't get to during the presentations. And you're welcome to send in questions or comments through the chat feature on Zoom as well. And those of you that are joining on TLG TV, our in-house TV channel, we're glad that you're here as well. Thank you. So I've got a question for everybody, and answers will be with a simple raise of the hand. So let's see if we can change this a little bit. Who's tired of the coronavirus? Okay, no surprises there. Certainly no surprises there. I know we are all so tired of this, and things were looking so promising over the course of the last few months. And obviously over the course of the last, really just the last couple of weeks, things have taken a turn. And I know that we're not in the place that we would like to be right now in terms of where we are in the pandemic. We'll speak a little bit more about some of the specifics of the pandemic a little later in the hour. And we'll discuss some of the protocols and what to expect as best as we know over the course of the next few weeks. But I just want everyone to know that I am truly inspired by this community's ability to respond and react in such a fast and really dramatic way. And that's the team members, but not only the team members, but all of our residents and family members as well. It seems like it was about a week ago right now that life completely changed yet again over the course of a very short window of time. And our residents and family members have been nothing but encouraging and supportive, even though we know that this time is incredibly challenging. And that encouragement and support really means the world to me personally, and I know to all of our team members as well. It's what keeps us motivated and keeps us energized to continue to do what we do. So thank you, truly, from the bottom of my heart and the hearts of all of us on the TLG team. That being said, I would like to turn the time over to Linda Price, our Director of Sales and Marketing, for a report on occupancy and sales.
Hello, everybody, and Happy New Year. Okay, my report will be brief today. I just wanted to give you an update on how we ended our year. Again, considering the challenges we've had in the last 2 years, we're doing very well. Thank you to all the residents and our board members for their support and just your patience, and to the team, every team and every department in this community for pulling together that hopefully we are still enhancing the lives of new people that want to move in and join our community. And we thank the residents who are here for being such good ambassadors and good neighbors. I know I sound like a broken record, but I always have those same comments and compliments. Anyway, for the year of 2021, we ended the year with 26 total sales. 23 of those were in independent living, the ones that the apartments that we sell with entrance fees. So 23 total sales in independent living. And that is at the higher level for us, because I think typically our average is maybe 18 to 20. We've done a few years over that, and our lowest year since I've been here in 10 years has probably been maybe 15. So to have had 23 in a challenging year we're very happy about that. And then we also had one sale and one move into assisted living from outside the community. You know, it's rare that we have those. And then we had 2 outside move-ins into the Grove, again, from outside the community. So, of course, our residents or contract residents, you always have priority when you or a loved one has a need for higher level of care. And when you don't, we're happy to be able to help others in the outside greater community that may need us as a resource on a rental basis. So with those 3 additional move-ins, it gave us a total of 26. So having said that, we ended the year at 172 apartments occupied out of 175. So that's 98.3%. The Grove, which is 16 suites, was 100% occupied. Assisted living, we were 43 apartments occupied out of 45, which is 95.6% occupied. So we were above budgeted goal in all 3 levels. So based on those occupancy rates, that means we had 3 independent living apartments that were under renovation, and all 3 are reserved. Those will be more than likely 2 move-ins in February, 1 in March. And there's 2 assisted living apartments that are vacant, currently vacated and are under renovation that will more than likely, well, we know we are offering them to some independent residents, and it's up to those families if they want to take advantage of that. So we're always patient, and we'll wait till those family conferences happen to see what happens with those 2 assisted living apartments. And lastly, then, I would just like to welcome our December move-ins. We had 4 in December, and if let's see, they are Mr. and Mrs. Bamberger, Corolla, and David. They moved in on December 2nd into apartment R269. Miss Helen Janzik on December the 15th into apartment M150. Miss Sylvia Meltzler on December the 21st into apartment E123. And lastly, but not least, Mr. Shijang Chang, December the 1st into Q168. And that 1 or 2 of those may not, those were the contract dates. So 1 or 2 of those people, I think, moved in a little bit later as far as physically moving in, but I hope you've been able to meet and welcome your new neighbors. I know it's going to be a little bit more challenging now that the dining rooms aren't open, but hopefully you'll run into them on the esplanade or out in the courtyard. So please say hello, and I hope you all have a wonderful new year. And Bradley, that is all from me.
Bradley, may I say something to the sales team before you move on? As board chairperson, I would really like to thank Linda and her staff for the incredibly wonderful job they're doing in sales. I am blown away with the last 2 years of census and percent occupancy in this COVID unprecedented 2-year time frame. And I am just so pleased with the job that you guys are doing in sales. And I know what a challenge it is, having held the job that Linda holds now prior to her. So incredible job. And the board, and I'm sure all the residents, thank you so much for your attention to detail and your challenging, holding tours when we're quarantining. And that's just unbelievable. So thank you so much to the entire sales team.
Thank you, Pam, for your kind words. And it takes a village. So while
It does.
we love the pat on the back, but we want to share the glory with all the other departments who help us create that success.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Linda, and thank you, Pam, for your words that I agree with wholeheartedly. It may be easy to think that the Terraces of Los Gatos is a wonderful community with a wonderful location, and it sells itself. And to a certain degree, that's true. But the success that the sales team has is very, very intentional and really comes through a lot of strategic thinking and thoughtful and hard work. So congratulations and thank you, Linda, to you and your team. Moving on, I would like to take a moment to introduce a new face that is with us today. We are very privileged to have a new member of the leadership team that has joined us at such an exciting time. Stephanie Saria is our new assisted living manager. And Stephanie is already hard at work and shortly is going to dash off to a care planning meeting with a resident and their family. But we wanted to give Stephanie the opportunity to introduce herself to the community now.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to see you. I know it's not in the terms in person, but I'm glad that we can meet each other this way as well. I'm also looking forward to meeting everyone tomorrow on Zoom at 3 o'clock. So hopefully we can answer a couple questions then too. Sorry, I can't talk that long right now.
Thank you, Stephanie. Stephanie, as she mentioned, we'll have a Zoom welcome reception for her tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. I let Stephanie know that we had a really exciting welcome reception planned for her on her first day. The chef had a wonderful menu prepared that we were going to have in the assisted living dining room. And well, that didn't happen thanks to COVID, but we'll do our best and have an opportunity to meet her a little bit more tomorrow afternoon. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
All right. We'll now pass the torch or the microphone or the keyboard over to Christy McKinney, our Director of Human Resources, for a report on all things human resources.
All right. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you had an enjoyable holiday season with your loved ones. And now we are starting a brand new year. And as Bradley indicated, we're experiencing some challenges with COVID. We do have some team members that are out, but overall, we're doing a great job and it's a fantastic team. And we're all here to support each other and to pitch in as needed. So I know we're going to weather the storm as we have over the last year and a half. Since we spoke last, we hosted, the leadership team hosted a team member holiday party. We met on December 20th. It was a great afternoon. We had a tamale bar with rice and beans and some great food. And along with that, we received some t-shirts from Human Good. We have these fleece jackets. You've probably seen some team members running around with these gray, beautiful fleece jackets that are so nice for the winter. Human Good provided a $100 Target gift card. And then we passed out the holiday cards. And I know you all received those with our various team member faces. So that was a lot of fun as we kind of entered closer into the Christmas holiday. Since we met last in terms of our staffing, we hired 3 new team members. One you just met, Stephanie, and 2 RNs that are working in the health center. But now we're moving forward with 10 accepted offers of new team members. So they are all in the process of getting acclimated and starting. We have 3 LVNs, licensed vocational nurses, 3 concierges, 2 caregivers, and 2 RNs, registered nurses. So we're really, really excited about getting those team members on board. In terms of team member anniversaries, we have 11 anniversaries of team members that have worked from 5 to 20 years. In the 5 to 10 year range, we have 7 team members. 11 to 15 range, we have 2 team members. And then the 16 to 20 year range, we also have 2 team members. So that is my report for human resources. Thank you.
Christy?
Yes.
Christy, Linda,
Yes.
how many open positions do we still have?
Oh, do you really want to ask us that?
Absolutely, absolutely.
We have just a few. No, each department has at least one opening of somebody that we're interested in hiring. So we do have, a fair amount of open positions.
Okay, well, every month we find out how many team members have come aboard, but we never hear about how many team members we still are missing. And it would be helpful to know that and see whether we're gaining or holding ground or losing.
Okay. Thank you for that feedback.
All right. Thank you, Christy, and thank you, Linda, for that question and suggestion. Any other questions for Christy before we move on? Okay. Let's see. Moving swiftly on here. Next up on the agenda is Jerry Austin, Director of Dining Services. Jerry, take it away.
Good afternoon and Happy New Year, everybody. Just starting out to say, hey, we miss everybody in the dining rooms. We would rather have you in the dining room as well. With that, most of everything that I'm going to talk about today is pretty much based on what we're going through. I wanted to touch on the online ordering for a minute. First, I wanted to let everyone know that if you've had any issues with getting on the online ordering to this point, you should be okay by now. We went through and were able to figure out where some of the issues lied. There were a handful, probably about 19 folks that could not get on. Everybody is active and should be able to access online ordering at this point if you so wish. Those of you that are using the online ordering, I want to say a big thank you. I ran into a resident in the hallway yesterday, and she was asking about it and asking how it impacted the department. And she said, well, you should tell everybody that. So, okay, I'm going to tell you. Doing online ordering really makes a big difference for us. Because when you do your order online, and I understand that not everybody can, and we fully respect that. But if you do, what that does is it allows you to do your order the same day, all the way up until a half an hour before the time that you want to pick up the order. So it gives you a lot more flexibility. 2, when you put the order in, it automatically does the billing to full count, and it automatically prints a ticket to the kitchen. So the kitchen gets your order right away. For those that are using the paper orders, and again, I respect if you need to use it, we totally understand. But what that does is we usually end up with a stack about this thick of orders on paper that have to be entered in by hand. So that means that we have somebody that sits in front of the computer and is putting all of that information in by hand. And also the orders do not come up until right before the meal service when we have all the orders in, and we're able to get them processed. So it also, the online orders gives us a little bit more of a heads up. If somebody's looking for something like a hamburger or a steak or something along that line, we can prepare for it a little bit sooner than if they try to show up in the last minute and order it. So just a couple of things, to kind of give you a heads up and an idea of what that looks like and how that helps us. I've worked with a few people on some issues that they've had with the online ordering, and I just want to put it out there. Anytime anybody has any questions, I'm more than happy to help you. I know that there's some issues that pop-up blockers, for instance, if you have pop-up blockers on your computer set up, then it won't work. The portal won't open as long as the pop-up blockers are in place. So you have to work through that, and I can help you with that. Trying to do it on a cell phone is darn near impossible. It's just it's not set to do on the cell phone. So if that's all you have, then I would suggest just go ahead and using the paper orders at that point. One of the things that I would like to do, and I'm talking to Dana about getting this set up, is doing a online ordering class refresher. Some folks have already seen the instructions on how to set it up and go through it and use it. I know we have a lot of new folks that probably have never seen that. I have also put together a document that I'd like to get out to everybody that just kind of is a step-by-step explanation of how to put an order in. But we'll have that set up pretty quickly, I think, and I'm hoping that I see several people there and we can help you get through that as well. With the paper orders, just a reminder, if you're going to use a paper order, please have it in by 3 o'clock the previous day. Part of that, again, is that we can plan for what we need to make. We also have time to get that into the system. Also, one of the big challenges that we're having with the paper orders is that we're not seeing people circle the time that they'd like to pick up. Without that time, pretty much that's going to get pushed to the back of the pile, because we're not sure when you're going to show up, and we want to make sure that we get everybody that has the time frame circled done on time. So please help us just circle the time period of when you want to pick it up, and we'll make sure that it's ready as close to that time as we can. One other thing too, I know when we first did this, when we first rolled out the pickups, we had a huge line going down the hallway, and part of that was because everybody put their order in pretty much that first half hour. We had 200 orders that were all there at 11:45 to 12:15, and that was a little tough. We were able to mitigate some of that issues by setting up different pickup spots, and that has helped out immensely. The one thing that I just toss out there, again, something that would help the kitchen out quite a bit, is that we tend to see a huge number of orders come in at 12:15 and at 5:15. If you are open to eating a little earlier or a little later, you want to put your order in before that or after that, that would help spread out the production that we're doing. Keep in mind, if the dining room was open, we would be only doing production. We'd be doing it from dinner-wise 4:30 until a little bit after 6, instead of squishing everything into a half-hour time period. So that would be helpful if we can do that. Lastly, we do have a booster clinic that's scheduled on January 11th, and they are going to have to use the Galleria and the GRA for that. So we are going to have to work out an alternative pickup site for those two locations. We'll get that done here shortly, and just we'll get it out to everybody as soon as we know where we're going to do that. But that's about it. Again, just to reiterate, we really hope to see everybody soon. Hope this is a very short stint. We appreciate everybody coming to pick up your food. It's a huge help, and I know that it's a little chilly sometimes, but we'll have it ready for you. I promise that, and we'll do everything we can to take care of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jerry. Does anyone have any questions or comments or
I have
feedback?
a question.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, yesterday I put in for lunch and dinner at the same time in the morning. I thought it would be more efficient. And I got my lunch okay, but not the dinner. Do you prefer that we do the dinner in the afternoon, not in the morning?
So was that a paper order?
No, it was over the internet.
It was online?
Yeah.
And you didn't get dinner. Yeah, it should have gone through fine. Did you get a receipt for both of those? Did you print a receipt off for both of them?
No, I didn't print it.
Okay, but it was there. Okay. Let me look into that for you. I can pull up a report and it'll see if it's on the in the system or not. And I will do that to make sure that we're not having any issues with that. There shouldn't be a problem with it. You can put the orders in. You can't put them in, at the same time, but you can go in, put your lunch order, then finish that one, and then go back in and put your dinner order. That's the one thing that we wanted to make sure we could do. But if you didn't get dinner, I apologize for that. Also, and I know sometimes they're hard to get a hold of, but gosh, give us a call and we'll get you something.
I had done it that way, and it is much more efficient.
Yeah. Okay. I'll look it up for you and I'll get back with you to see if there's an issue.
Gary,
Yes, ma'am.
I was a little confused because I thought that the internet orders had to be the day before and there were never any menus. So I was trying to do it on the internet and didn't find any menus. So I ended up going to the front desk and filling out the paper. Because
I'm sorry.
That also had, I think it should be really clarified that the internet I can do up to 1 hour before.
Actually, you can do up to a half hour before, which is even better. Yeah. So
nothing on the internet to tell us what I have to choose until following day.
that is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Full Count does have some limitations on being able to offer following day orders. So to your point, anything that's done online is going to be for that day. So if you go on and you order online, you're going to order lunch for that day and you're going to order dinner for that day. You can order your lunch all the way up until I think the last pickup on lunch is 12:45, if I'm not mistaken. So you could put your order in all the way up until 12:15. And likewise with dinner, you can put your dinner order again. I want to say it's it might be 6 o'clock, so it'd be 5:30 would be your last option. So whatever the time frame is that you see on the order site, you have a half hour up to that point before that time slot disappears. That just bumps you to the next one. But yeah, paper orders are going to be your ordering for the following day, and online orders you are ordering for today's food for that day.
Thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you.
Jerry?
Yes, sir.
Bob Strain. I picked 5:15 today because the online ordering system has some strange gaps. I could get a pickup at 5:15 or 6:15, but not in between. So
that's interesting. I'll take a look at that. Yeah, I've not heard of that happening before, so I'll absolutely look at that. So you said between 5:15 and I'm sorry, say the times again.
I can't record the later times are 5:15 and 6:15, and nothing in between.
Yeah.
Nothing in between.
That's the same for me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm glad it's not solely my problem.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that. We'll see what that looks like. Perfect.
Jerry,
Thank you.
the times on the daily printed menu are different than the times that you see online. Online gives you more options, but the printed menu does not. So just when you're checking, take a look at the difference there.
Yeah, I will do that. That may have been done intentionally just to try to spread out a little bit, the amount of people that are coming in, but I might be just making that up too. I don't know.
Also, I understand that you're not doing fruit cups and things like that. So,
I've already taken it off the menu.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And special salads also, I was told. So, just to let people know so that they don't grumble when they don't get what they thought they wanted.
No, absolutely. I agree. And I apologize that those items were still out there. The online menu, we've been blessed. We're actually one of the communities that has more people than anybody else using the online ordering. I'd say that we have probably about 40% of our community that uses the online ordering, which is amazing. But because of that, the ordering system is becoming more and more complex, which I'm not complaining, but things can kind of be missed because of the way that the menu is layered in the full count system. But yeah, as soon as I heard that, I went in and I made it so you couldn't see it online anymore.
Thank you.
But thank you for bringing it up.
All right. Thank you, Jerry. I'm not sure, maybe I missed it if you mentioned it as well already. But I know that Jerry's working on getting a online class scheduled to be able to walk through the online ordering process to help those who may have access to it, but may not know how to navigate the system. So we'll probably have that date and time announced sometime within the next few days. And last but certainly not least, I know we're all used to seeing Jerry with a mask on, but Jerry is trying something new, and he's got some facial hair, which is a new thing for Jerry. And I would just like to publicly acknowledge that, Jerry, you wear it very well.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jerry, for that report and for all that you and your team are doing. Next up on the agenda is Vincent Foresta, Director of Buildings and Grounds.
Hello, everyone. Updates, buildings and grounds for January. Believe it or not, we're making some modifications in our main dining room. Starting on January 13th, this time next week, we'll be replacing the countertop on the hotline and making some modifications to the refrigerator reach-in to give it a cleaner look. We'll also be looking at the partition. A few months back, I spoke about the partitions that separates the dining room to be a private dining room. They'll be removing the old partition that was there and start assembling the track and putting the doors up. That should hopefully be completed by the end of the month. Also, a while back, I spoke about torque paper dispensers. All throughout the community in common and public restrooms, we'll be replacing the paper dispensers, being paper towels, toilet paper. These new dispensers are going to be more environmentally friendly with the packaging that they get shipped in and help us cut costs on paper products. Looking forward to that. Those should be in place by January 15th. And then lastly here on Wednesday, January 26th, we have the pleasure of the Santa Clara County Fire Marshal to visit us for our annual inspection. Myself and the Fire Marshal will be touring the entire community to ensure we're in compliance with everything related to fire and life safety. Very much looking forward to that. Concludes buildings and grounds updates. And any questions?
All right. Thank you, Vincent, for that report. And thank you to you and your teams for all of your hard work. All right. Next on the agenda is Sandy Mirasol, our Director of Resident Services.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Well, have a few things here. I got a question from a few residents actually, about audiologists and the podiatrists, if they're going to be coming on the regular schedule. And yes, they will. They are essential. people or team members, I'm going to say, contracted team members. So they will be here on their regular schedules. And as you all know, activities, bus trips have been put on hold until further notice. And Margarita, just to let you all know, she's taken some time off. She will be back on Monday and continue with their salon services. And Agnes Toribio isn't here. She's our wellness nurse, our director, but she sent an email mentioning that the wellness clinic hours have been changed. Wellness clinic hours will be Monday to Thursday from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. If residents need a wellness nurse after or before the 11 a.m. and 12 or after 12:30 p.m., you may contact the wellness nurse via their mobile or cell phone, and they'll respond that way. And that's pretty much all I have. Do you have any questions? Okay, I don't see any hands or anyone speaking, so thank you. And take care all.
I have one question. Will the bus be going to the South Bay Music Theater this month?
Depending on if I don't know what date that's going to be, but we'll have to take a look at that when the dates come for those things.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Sandy, for that report. And thank you for all that you and your teams are doing. I know the Life Enrichment team is working hard to transition as many activities and events from being in person to being done remotely. And I appreciate all the work and time and energy and effort that goes into that. Thank you very much. I have a few additional announcements or updates to make. I want to thank everyone that has been incredibly supportive of the fundraising efforts of the TLG Foundation. Judy Lovell, our foundation chair, has a conflict right now, and so she isn't able to join us. But I know that she and the entire foundation committee are very grateful for all the support and have some very exciting things planned. So once we get through this current phase of the pandemic, I know they have a lot of exciting events and activities in the works that we can all look forward to. And next month's State of the Business meeting, we anticipate to have a detailed report on the ongoing fundraising efforts. Also, a few residents have asked about Pine Park Health. As most of you probably know, it's a new partnership that we have here at the Terraces of Los Gatos to provide on-site primary care services for residents of our community. We have been sharing information and having several virtual meetings, informational sessions about the services provided. Currently, we have currently there are 5 residents that are now enrolled with Pine Park Health as their primary healthcare provider. And there are 4 or 5 additional residents that are in the process of going through the enrollment process now. So it's good to see that residents that are taking advantage of this service that's now being offered. For those of you who have enrolled, or those of you who have had conversations with them and decided not to enroll, if you have any feedback at all, please don't hesitate to share those with me. We truly want to make sure that this is a partnership that is beneficial to the residents of our community. So if it's serving that purpose, we'd like to know. And if it's not, we'd also like to know so that we can determine the best way to pivot and adjust if needed. Very excited to announce another new member of our leadership team who hasn't joined us yet, but is scheduled to join us in the coming weeks before our next State of the Business meeting. There'll be a formal announcement that will come out probably in the next 2 weeks. But there's a gentleman by the name of Bill Penrod who will be joining our leadership team. Bill Penrod is someone who I've known for a few years now in the industry. Bill has worked for several senior living communities in the area. Notably, was working for many years, 10 or 11 years at Sunnyview retirement community in Cupertino. It's a nonprofit continuing care retirement community similar to the Terraces of Los Gatos. He's currently the executive director of another community in the Bay Area, and he will be joining our team to oversee all the operations in the health center starting February 1st. So we're excited to welcome Bill, and we should get a chance to meet him at our next State of the Business meeting, and we'll have an official announcement coming out between now and then. All right, let's talk about COVID. I know we're all tired of hearing about it, but it is here with us, and there's some important things that we need to make sure everyone is aware of. There's a community update letter that either has gone out or will be going out shortly. I need to, on one hand, apologize for the amount of community update letters that we send out. I know it can be overwhelming and can be very hard to keep track of the information that comes out, and what came first and what came second. We get confused ourselves sometimes while we're writing them, but we have since the start of the pandemic really wanted to make it a priority to communicate absolutely as much as we can, and if anything, over communicate than under communicate. On that note, we have had over the course of the last 24 hours or less, three new positive cases amongst team members. We had one team member that cleared, and 3 additional positive team members. So our total count is 11 team members and two residents. Fortunately, all of them are doing well. Most are experiencing some degree of symptoms, but all of the symptoms are relatively minor. No one has required any hospitalization, nor has been close to that point as far as I'm aware of. So we continue to wish everyone well and a quick recovery. And with the rate of infections, confirmed positive cases throughout Santa Clara County, the reality is we will continue to see positive cases here in the community. Our goal is to identify those positive cases early, so that we can isolate those individuals before there is an opportunity or to decrease the opportunity to spread the infection. And we'll continue to update as soon as we can when we have changes to our positive case count. Just a quick overview of some of the current precautions. At this point, we have restricted visitor access to essential visitors only. And that really includes visits from those that are medically necessary, and those that fall under the category of compassionate care visitors. which essentially is for those that are receiving end-of-life care for their friends and family to be able to be with them during that time. We don't know how long that precaution will be in place, but we really don't want it to be in place longer than it needs to be. And so we hope that we'll be able to once again open up the community to visitors in as short a period of time as possible. We've received some additional guidelines from the state of California with respect to visitors when they are permitted. Previously, all visitors were required to be fully vaccinated, meaning they had received their first and second shots of the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine or the single dose of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. There is now a requirement that, two additional requirements actually. One, that all those that are eligible to receive a booster shot have received their booster shot. So generally speaking, that's 6 months after they've received their initial vaccinations. For the Johnson & Johnson, it's a 1 month waiting period. So if for those that are eligible, visitors will have to have had their booster shots, as well as a negative COVID test. So visitors will need to be fully vaccinated, have their booster shot, as well as have a proof of a negative COVID test. It can be either a rapid test that was taken within 24 hours before the visit, or a PCR test that was taken within 48 hours prior to the visit. So that's a new order that just came out from public health within the last few days. We anticipate that that will actually be a short-term requirement only. So we're not quite sure how long it will last, but it's been communicated to us that it probably won't be a permanent requirement, but it may just be to help get us through the current surge that the state of California is facing. On that note, next week, as Jerry mentioned earlier, on the 11th, we'll have a booster clinic, and that will be open to all residents as well as team members and contracted team members as well. If you haven't had a chance to sign up, but you are eligible to receive your booster shot, we encourage you to sign up, and that can be done through the activities cube on the date. You look on the date of January 11th, or you can sign up at the concierge desk as well. There is a new requirement as well for all team members to not only be fully vaccinated, but also be boosted for all those that are eligible to have their booster shots. And the deadline for that requirement is January 24th. And any team members that are not yet boosted, but are eligible to be boosted between now and January 24th are being tested multiple times per week. But with the positive cases that we've had, we are essentially testing all of our team members 2 times per week, regardless of their vaccination or booster status. Some of you may have, if you checked your mailboxes in the last couple of hours, there were N95 masks, individually wrapped N95 mask, individual packaged N95 masks that were left for all residents in your mailboxes. We haven't received anything official from public health, but as I'm sure many of you have read or heard, there are quite a few studies out now that indicate, especially with the current Omicron variant, that cloth face masks especially are no longer effective or nearly as effective as they may have previously been. And the most effective are the N95 masks. So we were able to, we evaluated our inventory for team members, and we had adequate supply to be able to provide them for residents as well. Any additional N95 masks will be in the weekly updates tomorrow. There'll be announcement about notions and needs. Notions and needs will have a supply of N95 masks. So if there's additional masks that residents would like to procure, they will be available at Notions and Needs. They'll be open a couple of days a week for a few hours over the course of the next few weeks. And as I mentioned, the details will be included in the weekly updates tomorrow. That is all on my list. So happy to open it up to the group for any additional questions or comments. We'll start with Mr. Barish. And we can't hear you, Mr. Barish, although.
What is the staff interval for changing the N95 masks? How long do they wear them before they replace them?
Thank you for that question. And I honestly don't know if I'm the best person to answer that question, because I think there's various types of N95 masks that we utilize. All of our team members are fit tested to determine what the appropriate N95 mask is for the shape of their face. And if I'm not mistaken, different masks have different periods of time that they can be used. I think most of them are 7 days. Some may be less and some may be more, which is an incredibly ambiguous answer. I know. The short answer is I'm not sure, but it's a great question, and somebody knows. I don't know if anyone else is on the call that can answer that better than I can.
Well, Bradley, you mentioned fit testing, and the residents are eventually going to be buying their own masks. But the opportunity for fit testing would be a great convenience, so we could get the right size mask on the way in, rather than finding out all the ones that don't work for us.
Thank you. That is a very valid comment and question. To be totally honest, I don't foresee, there are very few people and resources available to do fit testing, and everyone's doing fit testing right now. So we've really struggled to be able to get the fit testing clinics that we have been able to for team members. If I'm not mistaken, the masks that were distributed today are considered to be a universal N95 mask that doesn't require fit testing, but should still be good protection.
Bradley, I can help you a little bit on the timeline. The team members that are not in direct contact with resident care, as long as the mask does not get soiled, you can wear it up to 7 days. Everybody else, it's much shorter than that.
Thank you, Jerry.
A comment about fitting the kind. Generally, they say that you're medium if the distance between your nose bridge down to the chin is 5 inches. And if it's 6 inches, you should go with a large. So it's little how long your face is. And second, the inventor of the N95 mask, if you're not working in an emergency situation, you can work, as you said, for several days, and then you can regenerate them by a heating process, which he has described in the literature.
Thank you for that information. And also for those of you that this may apply to, if you want the most effective seal of an N95 mask, you should have no facial hair. So hence my clean shaven face. Goatees are okay, Jerry, since they fit right inside the mask. Any other questions, comments, or feedback at this time?
It makes you look younger without the facial hair.
Thank you, I guess. Anybody else? All right. Well, I guess we will wrap up a couple of minutes early, but in closing, I just want to reiterate my appreciation to all of the residents here for your ongoing support. I know this is an incredibly challenging and frustrating time. You moved into this community to be able to have friends and the socialization and many of the programs and events and services here at the community. And right now, we know that a lot of those are not feasible, or at least not in the traditional sense. We appreciate your patience as we have to make these changes. We also appreciate your understanding of the staffing challenges that the COVID-19 pandemic has created for us. We look forward to the day when things get back to normal. When that will come, I don't even know. We've stopped speculating. But in the meantime, we're glad that you're here with us, and hope everyone has an enjoyable rest of the afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bradley, for keeping
Bradley,
us
and
safe.
thank you to the staff and the team members.
Yeah.